Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, normally on the first Wednesday of every month, I would go to Half Price Books bookstore on 5555 North Lamar, which is on the north side of Austin, for an open mic called Community of Poetry, hosted by Tom Woodruff. And I feel so bad that I'm not able to go to this monthly event where I would always share new poems from brand new Scottish Publications book releases. So although this is not Tom's community poetry open mic, this is my reading in honor of it. It was from 1 to 3 in the afternoon on the first of every month, and so I hope you enjoy these readings from new Scottish Publications books, and I have a stack of them. I do. So I thought I'd do a number of individual readings like I did at that open mic. I hope you appreciate that. The first poems I was going to read would be from the brand new March 2021 Scottish Publications issue, which is a book that's called Prayers and Bullets, and I'm trying to make sure the glare works so you can actually see it. Prayers and Bullets. Issues are named after accepted pieces within the writings, as are collection books sometimes. And I got a thank you from the person whose writing this was named after. But, and I actually got the artwork for it from New Orleans, Halloween weekend. We were going around, and actually both of the issues, CC&D and Down in the Dirt, possess graffiti from the sides of the streets in the French Quarter in New Orleans right over the Halloween time. But anyway, and on the back cover you can see it in better detail, the back cover for Preacher. But anywho, I thought I'd share with you a couple of poems from here. But first I'm going to share with you the shortest piece of flash fiction that is in this. After there's a piece called Tanya's story, I believe there's a piece called Tanya's story. I have to make sure, yeah, Tanya's story was right before it. This is a really one-page short piece called Tanya's story. Oh, Tanya's middle name is Marie, and her sister's name is Tasha Anna Negran. She likes her sister's name, but I told her that her name was nice too. This is a story Tanya made up for me at a Logan Beach cafe. She was eating nachos with salsa. Tanya is 9, going on 10. This is a story about summer. Phil was riding his bike. Phil is my brother. How old is Phil? Phil is 17, going on 18 years old. So he was riding his bike in the park, and it was sunny, and Jojo, he's my older brother, he's shot a bow, an arrow at Phil's tires, and he hit the tires, and Phil got mad. Phil fell over, and then he hit his arm, but he was okay. So, since Phil was mad, he ran after Jojo, and he caught up to him and threw him on the ground. They started fighting, and my sister, Tasha, came along and told them to stop, but they didn't stop, and so she called my dad. Dad came. He came with the belt. Ooh, that's my additive to that story. Sorry. That ooh noise is my addition. Sorry. It's really a Mexican belt. What's the difference between a Mexican belt and a belt, say, not from Mexico? Am I asking too many questions? It's really big, and I got hit with it once. Ouch. That's my addition again. Sorry. Oh, wait, she had to go to get a drink, so she was thirsty making up these stories. It's actually really hard work for her. Okay, she's coming back now. So, what's the end of the story? What happened? My brother, Joe, had a black eye. Phil gave it to him. So Dad came, he hit them, and then they stopped fighting then. Okay, so we got the good guy, bad guy thing covered, and an action scene, and a resolution. So most stories have a moral. So what is the moral of the story? not to fight. When you're sitting around in a cafe in Logan Square, the Logan Beach Cafe, there's a short piece of prose for you. Now I will share some poems that are right in the end of the issue for you. And I will start with this one that was written, it was part one of the Dreams 3319 poem, but it was written on National Jewel Day. So, National Jewel Day is apparently March 13th, so. This piece is called Zircon, Gemstones, Baubles and Bling. Today, it was like some sort of a contest. Some distance had already been traveled, and we still had to get to the last building, to the last room first, to apparently win. I went charging into this strange building. It was the final stop, so I went upstairs because the back room was the end goal. But I saw 6 or 7 contenders in front. I thought this may mean that I lost the contest, but then I saw them all just milling around. I stayed on the edges, trying to ascertain if any of them went in or what was holding them at bay. Not learning much. I gather they waited for something, I know not what, so since no one was looking toward that elusive back door, I snuck to it to open it up.
Message for you, sir.
Once I got inside, I rushed to the back, touched a large faucet along the back wall, and then I turned around and said, I made it, and my voice echoed loudly when I won. I didn't know what I'd win in this contest. My goal all along was only succeed. And succeed I did, as I now look back, and my greedy side now longed for more indeed. I was invincible after winning this contest, one of the hardest and strongest known, and to come to think of it, the world diamond comes from the Greek word for invincible. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, I heard a bombshell croon. So, maybe today my award will be diamonds and jewels that glimmer and catch the eye like any winner would. That piece actually, that poem, which was for National Jewel Day, actually was also released in part as an Instagram image, so I'm going to try to show it off for you inside of this book. Can I get this so that it's actually visible? It's really hard to see because light's like glaring and catching it, so I don't know what to be able to show you to be able to pull it off. But if you want to be able to see it, you can actually either buy this issue because it's available through Amazon, or if you want to see the image in color, you can go to scarset.tv/dirt to find the current issue, which is Prayers and Bullets, and there will be a link to the image there for it as well. So, and then you'd be able to see it better than what you can see in these blasted out images on live feeds and YouTube videos. This one, haha, this is a poem that's titled Escaping the Atmosphere Any Way We Can. And I know this because it was written on March 23rd, which is not only my husband's birthday, and I wrote it while he was free-falling on his birthday, and it's the iFly service that I got him. But it's also Werner von Braun's birthday from the SS from Nazi Germany, who then later came to the United States and helped us with our desire to get to the moon, with helping with rockets and Saturn, and he was there all along. And so this was actually written on his birthday. So this is called Escaping the Atmosphere Any Way We Can. After jumping out of an airplane and watching the Tetons from above, I wanted John, the man I love, who was born on March 23rd, to feel this feeling like you're fighting the atmosphere in free fall. It's like nothing in the world. It's no other feeling in the world. And then I thought of another man, also born on March 23rd, who had dreams of breaking past that atmosphere altogether. And in his time, his only way that he could do this was to build rockets for the SS and dream of the moon. It's strange to believe that Werner von Braun was rocket engineer in Berlin during the turbulent 30s and 40s, so he became a part of the SS and was the head of Hitler's dream plan to build the perfect vengeance rocket. And from what I hear, von Braun did his work for Nazi Germany, but he also loftily talked about sending a rocket to the moon. Don't go around talking like that, I'm sure they'd say to him, so he dreamed until the Nazi collapse. So, the States swooped him up in the budding Cold War, and von Braun even met with President Kennedy to cement their dreams, and they worked on the Saturn V rocket and Apollo manned missions to the moon. And, okay, maybe I only jumped from an airplane. Maybe John is fighting gravity in a wind tunnel, and there's no landing in the moon. But cut us some slack. Wernher von Braun didn't get to the moon, but this one man, born on March 23rd, helped us all wherever we are today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this was written on Meat Day, this next poem I've got for you. I don't know what day of the month, the year that is. I don't have that on this calendar. But I can tell you that this next poem that is in this book, Prayers and Bullets, is titled Zucchini Versus Sausage. Different choices today. It starts with a quote from Gandhi. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. I heard of Meat Out Day the day before, and I thought it was a holiday for barbecuing and for the masses to be gluttonous and mass cooking their mass slaughtered animal. I'm a vegetarian, and my husband learned it was a holiday to eat vegan for the day. And that made me smile, and then he said, well, I guess I won't be eating fish tomorrow. Which also made me smile. No one spoke of this quote-unquote holiday in the 7th largest meat-eating city in the United States, which may seem surprising, but not in the Longhorn State. Which means I didn't hear a thing about this day of veganism anywhere, which is the same as every other day of the year. In fact, while I go out, when I went out yesterday during Meat Out Day, I heard two women talking very loudly at the table next to me, contemplating what food to order. Since appetizers were half off for happy hour, they planned to each order an appetizer as an entree while eating there, and then I ordered only one appetizer, and that seemed like too much. But one hefty woman chose salmon for the appetizer. The other hefty woman was saying, loud enough for me, the entire room to hear, that she couldn't decide between the spinach and the meat ravioli. So I decided to interject. And I mentioned that if she's trying to decide, today happens to be Meat Out Day. And when the words left my lips, she instantly said, no, like eating vegetables was like contracting a deadly disease. So I smiled, and I tried to go back to my work, which was next to impossible near these two loud-talking women. But then I did hear the indecisive woman say that it might be smart not to get beef ravioli. If the other woman's getting salmon, they're also ordering entrees. The beef may be too heavy. Okay, maybe they're still not getting the concept of Meat Out Day. So I started to think about Meat Out Day being designed to promote our health, the environment, and animals. And it was then that I was thinking about our health that I then heard the indecisive fat woman say that her mother, while in the hospital, had a heart attack. Where she then said, and that's the best place to have a heart attack. The woman then explained that her mom had had quadruple bypass heart surgery. I looked at the size of this woman, and okay, it's one thing to be overweight, but maybe when their diet might have something to do with their health. Crazy idea, I know, as I hear of men I know taking daily pills to combat their regular indigestion and heartburn, when my response is, what, heartburn? Stop eating so much steaks and you won't have to medicate yourself daily to continue to eat dead animal. But that does seem to be the American way. Kill as many animals as we can so we can be as gluttonous as we want to be, then medicate ourselves so we can stay in this cycle. If we think there's too much violence in the world with terrorism and school shootings, maybe, just maybe, this violence starts with what we allow the world to slaughter so that we can ingest that violence every day at every meal. Wear these skins on your backs and feel like you have power. Then these capitalists allow others to do the killing for them. What does that then say about who we really are? Brainwashing overweight people scoff when I suggest not eating meat for once. If vegetarians and vegans get together for one day while not eating meat, and the other people who need it most don't listen, I don't know what else to do. Non-violently to spread the word. What steps can we take to truly make a difference? I look at my diet. I look at my own diet, and without trying, I get plenty of protein. But meat markets convince the urban Chinese to eat more meat for protein, even though historically they never were low on protein. But lucky them, guess what? A lot of them now versus before, also have heart disease. Listening to corporate cogs to do what you're told is seldom the solution. But it seems that people prefer to not think, especially about the death that they choose to consume every day. Maybe it's only once people really look at the cycle and what they're doing to themselves, maybe then the world will really change. Oh, I gave you a moral one. What is that about, right? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think I'm going to read 3 of them for you. 3 more. They're not insanely long, but that'll be the end of the readings from Down in the Dirt for you. And by the way, I should also say hello to people that are watching live. Lynn, I see you. Thanks. You're awesome. Double plus cool. This is a poem that is from the Down in the Dirt book. Prayers and Bullets is a brand new book released on March 1st of 2021, the new Down in the Dirt issue, and this is a poem toward the back with the last 3 poems of the book. This next one is called Vibrations Echo. You didn't think you could be ready for this. You saw life come and go and thought you could not cope. But you're not the first to battle these demons, because some who have had to face this pain and strife couldn't even survive. We all know this feeling. We all know what it's like. We know that tension knot when it feels like everything is ripping you apart and the forces pushing you against the wall so hard your breath escapes and you cannot get it back. I'm here to tell you this. You can make it. Just pause. Give it a minute. And trust me, you'll be able to breathe again. Once you realize that every aspect of death is still a part of life, then you can embrace every single molecule as a part of life itself. And then you can embrace everything, every echo and vibration. Because once you connect the pieces together, then you will feel all the universe's vibrations as they suddenly come into sync. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for this reading from the Down in the Dirt March 2021 book Prayers and Bullets, which is available at Amazon or at Scars Publications. Scars.tv is the website. These are the last two poems of the books. They take up just 2 pages. It's really hard to see in these books, but this first one is called Unlocking History, One Asteroid at a Time, and it was written on the 28th of March, which is on the anniversary of the date Heinrich Himmler discovered not Heinrich Himmler, but it is related to World War II. Heinrich Wilhelm Matthaus Olbers, he actually discovered the second asteroid to Pallas. No, it's not about... I'm sorry that I freaked out because I've got so many World War II pieces in here. This is about astronomy. This is not about World War II. This is about discovery of the second asteroid ever, and it's called To Pallas. This is a poem titled Unlocking History, One Asteroid at a Time. People who love the night sky also have a special love affair with anything not from this planet. I even display a few cataloged asteroids in clear display boxes because these are what we choose to call precious stones, because they are. They unlock Earth's and the solar system's history. Looking back, astronauts believe that this was a massive asteroid that collided with Earth so many years ago, creating the most giant crater in the ground and scattering debris throughout all of the atmosphere, which killed off the dinosaurs and left a thin layer of iridium all over planet Earth. And on this day, over 200 years ago, German astronomer Heinrich Wilhelm Matthaus Olbers discovered and named the second asteroid ever found, Pallas. And back in 1802, they didn't even know what asteroids were, so it was counted as a planet, just like other asteroids found in the early 19th century. So, back in this day, Pallas had a minor planet designation, but if you call it To Pallas, you know that this second asteroid he discovered after Ceres, the solar system, is one of the largest asteroids. And yeah, 5 years later he discovered an asteroid, Vesta, which is even larger than Pallas. But since back then the word asteroid didn't even exist, these minor planets were called planets. But back then it was double plus cool that Olbers actually imagined the asteroid belt as this magical place all these objects orbit. So, after all this time, it's fitting that I keep these little showers of rocks well cased and on display, because asteroids explain history. They reveal more than this world. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to read one really short one. As you can see, if I can pull this off in the book and open it up, and I've got different cameras here, see if I can I get the contrast right? There's an image there. Really hard to see. If you want to check it out, you can check it out from Scars.tv/dirt and find a link to the image for this poem, Glacial Ice, or you can actually see it in color there, or if you've got a copy of this book, you'll see it as the last poem of the book. Very short piece. It is, I think, it looks like 5 haiku, but they all go together. Trust me, this is called Glacial Ice. Rumbling ice mountain shakes your Antarctic campsite, foretells avalanche. Foretold avalanche, careened glaciers recklessly to float in ocean. Ocean icebergs float in an Arctic sun, stay mostly just under water. Underwater remnants, no dirt nor even air, makes crystal clear ice float. Clear floating ice chills, cracks in perfect drink after rumbling ice mountain. That's the funniest story. Holy cow. A strange memory for us. We actually discovered after an avalanche when we were camping. We were on a boat and we discovered a piece of ice, and the ice stays 90% underwater and only 10% of it floats. And we managed to take a piece and bring it back into the boat with us, and we had it on display. We would crack it, and it was perfectly clear. It was amazing, and we would crack some of the ice off and put it in our drinks. It was the coolest freaking thing ever. I'm sorry, it just was. So, strange things, especially in the wintertime, seem entirely appropriate to share with you. Those are just a few poems from the Down in the Dirt March 2021 issue, which is titled dun, 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 Bullets, Prayers and Bullets. And I am going to share more poetry with you, but I'm going to, like I would in honor of the open mic that I would normally be attending on the first Wednesday of every month, I would have rounds and read for 10 to 20 minutes and then stop and then come back and read a little bit more. So for the next 2 hours, I'm going to continue doing readings from books. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing all of you back really, really soon. Thank you so very much.